Imagine there has been no electricity for 4 days. Your phone is dead, the stores are empty. But that silence outside is not peace. It is despair. You open your pantry, and suddenly every jar, every packet feels like a treasure. My name is David, and I have been preparing since 2014. Let me share an important lesson I learned early on. You do not realize what you truly need until it is too late to obtain it. Here is the harsh truth that most people do not want to hear. Preparation is not fear, it is control. Many think that if they have a couple of cans of food and a flashlight, they are prepared. Mistake. Such an approach quickly leads people to hunger, cold, and despair. Remember Texas in 2021. The energy grid collapsed, store shelves emptied in hours, and people melted snow for water. Not abroad, but here, in modern America. If you want to avoid this panic, listen up, because today I will talk about 9 canned goods that every serious prepper should stock up on. These products not only satisfy hunger, they save lives when everything around falls apart. And number 7 will surprise you because almost no one talks about it. Nevertheless, it can provide you with calories, fat, and moral support when your body is exhausted. The fact is, the world is becoming unstable. Supplies, inflation, weather conditions, all of this. Prices are rising and the shelves are emptying again. If you start now, you can create a stockpile that will save you money, time, and nerves before everyone else realizes what awaits us. So, grab a notebook. This list can literally feed your family when nothing else is left. The first item is canned beans, black, pinto, chickpeas. If you had to choose one canned product that quietly surpasses almost all others in a real crisis, it would be beans. Black, pinto, and chickpeas. These 14-ounce cans you pass by on every trip to the store are true survival gold. That's what most people miss. Beans are not just a cheap filler. They are one of the best products in terms of price-to-calorie ratio. You get protein, fiber, and slow energy for 25 to 40 kopecks per serving. That's right. At current prices at Walmart, you can buy a can for about 92 to 128 kopecks. That's about 4 servings, less than the cost of chewing gum for one meal. And they last a long time. These are low-acid cans, which means that if you store them in a cool and dry place, their shelf life ranges from 2 to 5 years, and sometimes even longer. True preppers call them one of the most stable sources of protein that can be stored. Now, don't make the rookie mistake of buying only seasoned or sweet versions. They take up space but provide fewer calories. Choose unsalted. Rinse them and control your taste. Imagine 2 weeks after a power outage due to a winter storm. There is no electricity. The roads are closed. With only beans, canned tomatoes, and a few spices, you can make a hot chili in one pot that will feed the whole family. Or mash them, mix with rice, and one meal will stretch into 3. Want professional advice? Incorporate them into your regular cooking. This way, you always use, always refresh your supplies, and never waste. And this is what most people overlook. Dried beans are even cheaper. Yes, you will need fuel to prepare them, but for the price of one serving, they surpass almost any source of protein. So next time you stock up your pantry, do not underestimate the humble can of beans. It is simple, reliable, and in a crisis situation, absolutely invaluable. The second item is canned tuna, but with caution. It is a product that always sparks debates among prepared people. Canned tuna is light, protein-rich, and one of the easiest foods to store without cooking. But it must be handled wisely, as it has its pitfalls. A typical can weighing between 5 to 6 ounces, whether Star-Kissed or Great Value, now costs around $1.10 to $1.50 in stores. You can even buy a pack of 4 cans for about $3.84. Cheap protein? Certainly. But here's the thing. Recent recalls have made tuna somewhat riskier than before. In February 25, the Tri-Union Company was forced to recall entire batches due to defective lids raising concerns about contamination. The Food and Drug Administration even published complete batch codes for verification. Therefore, before stocking up, check these labels every time. A minute of inspection now can save you from an unpleasant surprise later. Assuming your cans are fine, without bulges, rust, and strange tongues, you have one of the most convenient sources of protein in your supplies. No cooking, no electricity, no problem. You can mix it with a bit of mayonnaise for sandwiches or combine it with rice and canned vegetables for a complete balanced meal that will be surprisingly filling. But here is what smart prepared people do. They diversify their supplies. Don't stockpile only one brand or one source of protein. Add sardines, canned salmon, or chicken to reduce the risk of a recall. Because when supply chains fail, and they will, you will still have backup options to maintain protein levels. The third point is canned chicken or turkey. This is something that rarely gets the spotlight, but absolutely deserves it. Canned chicken or turkey. I know what you're thinking, chicken in a can. But believe me, this humble source of protein can be one of the smartest decisions in your supply. The thing is, while everyone rushes for tuna or Spam, canned chicken remains in the shadows, and that's your advantage. It is neutral, universal, and less prone to reviews than seafood. You can add it to soups, stews, casseroles, or even make sandwiches straight from the jar. No cooking, no hassle, no waiting. Just open, drain, and enjoy. According to Real Simple and various retail publications, most cans weighing between 10 to 12 ounces cost around $2 to $4, depending on the brand and store. This is approximately 25 to 30 grams of protein per serving. A clean, lean, and stable shelf life of 2 to 5 years with proper storage. This is a serious asset for a product that does not require refrigeration. However, a small precaution. Avoid flavor variants. I understand that chicken with a hint of buffalo or lemon pepper sounds tempting, but such options limit the ability to use the product later. Choose simple or lightly seasoned canned goods to control the flavor. Add your own spices, broth, or rice mix. One can serve as the basis for 5 different dishes. And here is a tip that many overlook. Check if the packaging has BPA-free liners if that matters to you. Many manufacturers are transitioning to such technologies, but not all have managed to do so yet. When wholesale stores quietly begin to increase their stocks, such as canned poultry, it is a signal worth noting. It is a reliable, inexpensive product that does not depend on the cold chain. In other words, it is food resilient to disasters. So, if you are serious about long-term stocking up, do not ignore this. When there is no electricity and fresh produce runs out, a can of canned meat for $3 may be what keeps your family fed and your plan from falling apart. Simple, reliable protein food that lasts a long time. Point 4. Canned salmon. Let's talk about what often sits next to tuna, but rarely gets the attention it deserves. Canned salmon. Before you turn the page, listen. This is a quiet giant. Unlike tuna, canned salmon is not just a source of protein. It is rich in omega-3, calcium, and essential nutrients that your body needs in long-term emergencies. And here's an interesting fact. The bones are edible. These soft white pieces inside are pure calcium. It's like a built-in multivitamin that is also tasty. According to True Prepper and other sources, most cans retain their quality for 2 to 5 years if stored in a cool, dry place. This is as much as your other protein reserves, but you get much greater nutritional value per bite. In terms of survival, this is invaluable. Prices vary depending on brand and quality, usually higher than tuna, but you pay for quality. Sag salmon and pink salmon are your best options. Sag has a richer flavor and more omega-3. Pink is milder, lighter, and often cheaper. In any case, both options surpass most canned goods in nutrition. An interesting point. From one can, you can prepare 3 or 4 dishes. Mix it with rice and canned tomatoes for a hearty stew. Add it to pasta or canned vegetables. Or make a simple salmon spread with mayonnaise and crackers. No cooking required. It is important to understand that in a long-term situation when the electricity is off, your body needs healthy fats. That's when salmon becomes gold. Omega-3 supports your mental activity and strengthens your immune system in conditions of stress and resource scarcity. So the next time you stock up, don't just limit yourself to tuna. Grab a few cans of salmon, because when the shelves are bare, that little can could be crucial for survival. Point 5. Canned sardines and mackerel. This is a real find in the world of supplies that many overlook. Canned sardines and mackerel, yes, I know not everyone is thrilled about little fatty fish. Listen. If you take seriously the value, calories, and nutrients that truly sustain life, you cannot miss this product. These little cans, usually 3 to 4 ounces, are a real find. Sardines and mackerel are rich in omega-3, calcium, and protein, and they are currently some of the highest calorie products available for under $2. containing between 200 and 250 calories and about 20 grams of protein. Edible bones are an invaluable source of calcium when dairy products are unavailable. Shelf life, usually 3 to 5 years, provided they are stored in a cool, dry place. This is on par with canned meat, but with a much higher nutrient density. However, the main reason people avoid sardines is not the price or shelf life. It's about the taste. Many refuse to try them even without tasting. But here's the secret. Don't eat them straight from the can the first time. Try using them in a recipe. Mash them with rice, adding some canned tomatoes and spices, or spread them on crackers with a drop of lemon. Once you do this, you'll realize that it's not just fish snacks, but real nutritional power. And here's another point that most people never think about. In survival conditions, fat serves as fuel. Canned food in oil adds calories and maintains energy when carbohydrates are low. Canned food in water is lighter, more versatile, and great for adding to soups or casseroles. So here's your professional advice. Buy both options. Stock up on a few cans in oil for high-calorie dishes and a few in water for everyday use. Because when the shelves in stores are empty, you won't be saved by fancy frozen meals, but rather by these smart yet forgotten products. Cheap, compact, nutrient-rich sardines and mackerel are a true find for those who care about their nutrition. The next item is canned tomatoes and tomato paste. This is what quietly transforms survival food into real dishes. I am talking about canned tomatoes and tomato paste, chopped, mashed, pureed, or in those little tubes that everyone forgets. Although this product does not look attractive on the shelf, it is the foundation of flavor in any pantry. Why? Because it enhances the flavor, texture, and versatility of everything else you have. Beans, rice, meat, anything. A single small can of tomatoes can turn ordinary ingredients into chili, stew, or a truly delicious pasta sauce. And believe me, when you eat supplies for several weeks, the taste becomes a matter of survival. That's what makes it special. It's sour, has a long shelf life, and is inexpensive. According to the data, most canned tomatoes last from 1 to 3 years, depending on storage conditions. It's slightly less than low-acid products like canned chicken or beans, but still long enough to justify bulk buying. The main thing is rotation. Use one, replace with another. At this price, it's one of the best deals in your pantry. Even in the year 2025, most cans of diced or crushed tomatoes will cost about $1 to $1.50, while tomato paste will be around 60 cents to $1 per can. This is a small investment in something that will completely change your culinary possibilities. But here is the mistake I often observe. People stock up only on whole or chopped tomatoes. This limits you. In fact, you need variety. Chopped for soups, mashed for sauces, and tomato paste for concentrated flavor and thickness. Tomato paste is the real secret ingredient. A spoon can save bland beans, rice, or even canned meat. It is a powerful flavor enhancer in your survival stash. And here's a professional tip. Buy toothpaste in tubes, not in jars. It stores conveniently, creates no waste, and lasts longer after opening. Just squeeze out the needed amount. There's no need to open the whole jar and throw away half. Canned tomatoes are also your best source of vitamin C and antioxidants when fresh produce disappears. They are not just for flavor, but represent real nutritional value. So the next time you stock up, do not underestimate these red cans, because when the world slows down and meals become monotonous, it is this simple can of tomatoes that can help sustain dinner and morale. Now, about item number 7, canned pork, Spam, and corned beef. Let's talk about one of the most underrated survival foods, the one people love to joke about until they get hungry. Canned pork, Spam, and corned beef. This is not just a relic from your grandmother's pantry. These are saviors in disguise. Each can contain calories that last long and require no preparation. When the power goes out and your fresh food supplies run out, they will help you survive. Here's the deal. In the year 2025, canned meat like Spam costs about $3 to $4 for a 12-ounce can in online stores. That's not bad considering one can provide 6 to 8 servings of high-calorie, ready-to-eat protein. You can eat it straight from the can, fry it for a hot sandwich, or slice it into rice and beans to enhance flavor and calories. Now, most stockpilers either completely avoid these products or excessively hoard them. Both options are mistakes. Yes, This meat contains a lot of sodium and processed fats, but in times of crisis, this is not a drawback. This salt helps retain water when you sweat from stress or heat. And fat is long-term energy. It's important to maintain balance. Combine a can of Spam with a pot of beans or vegetables, and you have a complete balanced meal for survival. The shelf life is several years, sometimes even longer than stated on the packaging, if stored in a cool, dry place. This is true peace. What? No refrigerator, no freezer, no problem. Here's another tip. Buy packs with different flavors instead of boxes with just one. Swap them around and keep a few for trading. In a long-term crisis, high-calorie protein becomes currency. A can of Spam can be exchanged for batteries, rice, or medical supplies when the shelves run empty. So don't let memes fool you. This is serious survival food, cheap, compact, filling, and proven in every major disaster from World War II to modern hurricanes. When everything else goes wrong, these little metal bricks of protein help you stay full, energized, and focused in the most important moments. Point 8. Canned evaporated and sweetened milk. This is a product that almost no one talks about, but every experienced cook becomes attached to it as soon as they open it. Canned evaporated and condensed milk. Don't rush to scroll past just because it sounds boring. It's not just for baking cookies. This is one of the smartest and most multifunctional survival products you can store. Let's break it down. Evaporated milk is simply milk with about 60% of the water removed. It contains no sugar, has a long shelf life, and can be diluted with water to make regular milk for coffee, sauces, or baking. Condensed milk, on the other hand, is thick, sweet, and calorie-dense, perfect for desserts, drinks, or when you just need a mood boost. This difference is important because in a crisis situation, food is not just a matter of survival, it is a matter of comfort. When stress peaks, a spoonful of condensed milk in your coffee or oatmeal can remind you of what normalcy tastes like. In the year 2025, prices remain stable, usually from $1.50 to $3 per can, depending on the brand and size, and the shelf life of 2 to 5 years makes it one of the best calorie-to-space ratios. According to WeLovePrepping.com, both types are excellent for enhancing nutritional value and calories when protein and fat are scarce. This is where the true value for preppers lies. Versatility. You can add evaporated milk directly to soups or casseroles for creaminess, mix it into mashed potatoes, or turn powdered products into something satisfying. This is a bridge between survival food and real cooking. And here's a professional tip. Stock both types, evaporated for savory dishes, condensed for lifting spirits. This combination will help maintain a balanced diet for body and mind. But don't make the rookie mistake of assuming that dairy preserves are only for baking. They are not. They are a functional culinary ingredient and a source of calories. Think of it this way. 1 can of condensed milk contains almost 1,300 calories. This is not a dessert. This is fuel for survival. So the next time you fill your pantry, add a few cans of evaporated and condensed milk. You will thank yourself when you cook pancakes without a refrigerator or when a small sweet treat lifts your spirits after a hard day. Because survival is not just about staying alive, it is about remaining human. Point 9 and 10. Canned goods and commercial emergency rations. The next point is not as bright, but if you are serious about long-term survival, strategic decisions meet with frugality here. We are talking about large commercial banks number 10, used by emergency power suppliers and institutions. These are not regular banks from grocery stores. They are meant for storage over decades, often containing dried or frozen dishes, beans, rice, potatoes, or even powdered milk. That's why they are so powerful. Most preppers focus on short-term ready meals. True resilience lies in planning for years, not weeks. A number 10 can contain the same amount of calories as 8 or 10 regular cans. With a shelf life of 20 to 30 years, this effectively guarantees food security for many years. In the year 2025, brands like My Patriot Supply and Ready Hour made 10 canisters the basis for emergency kits. Prices vary depending on the contents, but when calculating the cost per serving, these canisters turn out to be surprisingly affordable. You pay a little more up front, but you gain huge long-term benefits. And what's important is that these banks are not just for bunkers or apocalyptic scenarios. Smart preppers use them as a staple in their homes, a kind of food insurance. You can use them slowly, adding portions to regular dishes to maintain freshness and familiarity. However, be careful. Don't buy them in bulk without a plan. Once the 10th can is opened, it loses its long-term status. You need to use it within a few weeks or reseal portions with oxygen absorbers or Mylar bags. Recommendation: start small. Choose 1 or 2 cans, such as mashed potatoes or dried fruits, and test them. You will learn how they taste, how to prepare them, and how they suit your family. When stored properly in a cool, dry place, these jars provide you with peace of mind for decades. They form the foundation of a multi-layered food system. Short-term jars for now, jars number 10 for the future. So while others chase trends, experienced preparers quietly build a foundation that will last long. Because canned goods number 10 are not just food, they are time capsules of safety. Before concluding, let's discuss some advanced strategies that separate novice stockpilers from experienced preppers. First, don't just stock up on cans. Build food systems. Mix canned goods with dry products like rice, soy sauce, oatmeal, or pasta. A regular can of beans or meat becomes a complete calorie-dense meal when combined with these long-lasting staples. This approach not only saves space but also increases your calories and nutrients without breaking the budget. And here's a professional tip from an experienced preparer. Follow the FIFO principle. First in, first out. Use the oldest jars first and label each with the purchase date using a marker. This small habit keeps your pantry fresh and ensures nothing spoils unnoticed on the back shelf. If you want to further increase your calories, consider canned fats. Products like sardines in oil, Spam, or canned beef contain both protein and fat, essential for survival where energy is paramount. You can easily add a spoonful of fatty fish or pieces of Spam to rice or beans for a significant increase in calories, which will help you stay full longer. But let's also talk about what not to do. One of the main mistakes I see is when people spend hundreds on gourmet canned dishes that look beautiful but are not cost-effective in terms of price-calorie ratio. They may be very tasty, but they won't sustain you in a long-term crisis. A more sensible approach is to create a balanced rotation of products. Mix staple legumes and proteins, add a flavor base like tomatoes or sauces, and a couple of treats to lift the mood, such as fruits or pudding. This system helps make your pantry efficient, accessible, and conducive to good mood. Because survival is not just about calories, it's about being resilient. When done right, each can becomes part of a broader and smarter plan. A plan that nourishes your body and confidence in any crisis situation. If you remove all the excess, preparation is not fear, it is freedom. Having a shelf full of reliable canned goods means your family will eat well, regardless of the circumstances, whether it's a power outage, job loss, or new shortages. The smartest prepared people do not hoard mindlessly. They develop strategies. They mix available staple foods like beans and tomatoes with calorie-rich proteins like Spam or sardines. They regularly use the FIFO method to ensure nothing goes to waste. Every can you buy now is a small part of security for your future. But the truth is, time is not on our side. Prices keep rising, and recalled products do not decrease. People who take small but steady steps today, labeling cans, checking expiration dates, building smart shelves for rotation, will be the ones who sleep peacefully when supply chains tighten again. So, here is your task. Before the weekend ends, choose 3 items from this list and start building your pantry stock. You'll thank yourself later. If this video gave you at least one idea, give it a like. It will show that the information is important. Subscribe for more practical guides on preparedness every week. No fluff, just real strategies that work. And leave a comment. Which canned food product can you not live without? I will present the best answers and smartest preparedness tips in the next video. Stay prepared, be confident, and remember, you cannot control the storm, but you can stock up on everything you need.